So Rohan, I know you got to interview Vince, but we all played Titanfall. What was that, this week? Jesus Christ. It's really good. Also, it's the Source engine.
That team at Respawn, I mean, those guys know how important it is to have a very fluid, the best you can do frames per second for a multiplayer competitive game. Like, they know that they have to nail that, and I think they did.
The thing I'm most interested in from kind of a core, observer level is that you're fighting other people, but there are the AI characters. And I'm not a MOBA person, but I always thought the, what do you guys call the creeps? Or something that I always thought...
They're called minions.
Minions.
Yeah.
I always thought that was pretty interesting, and I'm curious because a lot of people play like Call of Duty or Killzone or Battlefield, and they'll feel like a fish out of water if you're trying to get into the game. And I think this adds like a real level of accessibility, because even if other people are killing you every which way, you can still hunt down these little AI dudes, and you're always going to get a Titan. I didn't realize that for a while. I thought you had to earn your Titan, like, people get their kill streaks. You're guaranteed a Titan. No one's going to beat that. The match is going to last longer than 3 minutes.
We got Bravo.
Reporting. Threat level
Just
high.
lost Charlie.
I feel like I've beat this to death and saying this over and over, but I don't play shooters. I'm not a huge shooter guy. I'd say you're not a huge. I mean, you'll jump in, you'll play them.
I'll like get to Prestige 1 and consider that like beating a game,
right?
And then I'll walk away.
I don't even get that far, and then I know Rohan. All you do is play shooters. It's your bread and butter, right? Like you play nightly, you play a lot, and this is the first time in a long time that I've really wanted to play a shooter again. That I feel comfortable. That I feel like I'm not terrible at it. And I'm sure day one, as soon as fans at home get their hands on it, I'm going to be terrible again. So that's fine. Like I'm expecting that. But this just feels more balanced, and it feels like even when you're losing, you're still able to kind of change the tide of the game.
Well, like even the epilogue, right?
You always get a Titan. Even if you get, oh shit, your Titan's getting destroyed, you have that chance to get out of it. The other guy still has the chance to rip you out, but there's just like this constant, there's movement forward, where I think a lot of shooters, it's constantly spawn, get shot, where you're not dying that much in this game.
You saw I was able to hack the other team's guys, and they became our robots, but they're so easy to kill. I was wondering if I'm actually helping the other team because they're going to be able to pick up these points. But I like those little interactions that they have hidden, sprinkled throughout.
And until you told me that, I had no idea you could do that, and I don't think they publicize that either. Those little niche details that people aren't really picking up on. It's really cool. And what else is in there? Like
The burn cards?
Burn court, yep.
So I guess I know you've played Magic the Gathering.
We've all played Magic the Gathering.
But there's going to be these, I mean, this is, I think, what everyone's going to know by this point, but it was interesting, especially in the beta, we were only locked to one Titan type, but we got a rarer card that let us jump into the Ogre, which was kind of a more tank, slower,
right, it was
defensive.
more heavily armored.
Yeah.
Did you actually get
slower.
to play?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So we got Ogre gameplay, which is
nice.
Pretty cool.
I like it's it's not use it or lose it, but it is that kind of one-time thing. I feel like Uncharted 3 messed around with this, where you could buy those weird be spiders and stuff like that. But this feels a little more accessible. I think every match we were unlocking more burn cards and stuff.
And you get them for doing tons of random things. I know I would killed a bunch of specters, and it gave me a card for that.
They're tied to challenges and different objectives and stuff like that. But what they do, what I think is interesting, is they make people be careful. Right? You don't want to die when you have something that makes you extra powerful. And that goes completely against the kind of the mantra of respawn, get back into the action, respawn, get back into the action. And that changes the game for me, personally.
I will say my small issues, and I think a lot of these will kind of abate after you play the game a bit. I thought there was a little UI overload at certain points, especially when you're in your Titan and there's kind of your shields versus your core versus when you're especially getting into a Rock'em Sock'em fight with another Titan, and there's a bunch of those life bars floating all over. And also identifying grunts versus other pilots, because a grunt's worth 1 point, a pilot's worth 4. And I'm sure with time, obviously on the mini map they're displayed differently and stuff. But little things.
And I mean,
with time you'll pick up
that's
on
a
it.
learning curve thing. I just like that that's an option.
But it
that
was
I know
really
things are
easy to get
happening.
into the game. Like when the playing as the Titan is, you can't jump, but you have the slide ability. Though I think we saw a burn card that said it would give
did.
you jumping ability as a Titan, limited verticality.
Which is interesting.
It was very interesting.
And who knows if you had the ogre, there's the Atlas, and there's the
It's
third
They said they're
Strider.
shipping it with 3.
Strider. So it's like, does he already have a jump ability as as the
Oh,
faster
there are the
sprinting
abilities,
one?
like what, the cloak. I mean, they pack in a
Well,
lot
the
of
pilots
stuff.
have abilities, the
Yeah.
Titans have abilities.
Yeah,
it's just
and-
like,
in the classic like Call of Duty or any other like competitive multiplayer shooter, there's loadouts for both the Titans and the pilots. You can combo different, I think they're called tactical abilities, ordnance. All of these things your kit, all of these things you can equip. Like there's, going back to the grunt thing, there's a kit that you can equip that detects all grunts on the minimap.
So you could farm grunts.
Yeah, that's
Which is
actually one
interesting.
of my big points.
Would that be jungling in this game?
No,
Okay.
no.
A little
You're
bit.
pushing a lane.
Greek.
Warning, health systems low.
so I guess, the big question that I'm constantly asked by friends and other people around the office is Titanfall worth getting an Xbox One for?
After playing the tutorial, which is a single-player tutorial, and there's the little bit of, there's like a mini horde mode at the end of the tutorial, I was like, there's AI in this game, there's all of this, and like, I wouldn't have minded a single-player campaign.
See, I think that's the elephant in the room, right? How compelling. If you're not me, who plays Call of Duty, who plays these,
Right.
You
these
mainline
competitive
that,
shooters
yeah.
year round, like if you're not me, is there enough there?
I don't
to
know.
keep you hooked for a
I think
while?
there's a market for it. I think you see things like League of Legends. You see things like Left 4 Dead. I mean, Left 4 Dead didn't really have a
Source engine.
single-player campaign either. It was
Yeah, you don't want
That's-
to play
it's
with
good.
bots.
You don't want to play with bot. You could, but
You
just
don't.
because it was there, you don't want to do it. So I think we've seen the stats. The stats became kind of, they put them out a little bit more, especially with like how they track trophies and achievements online. Developers know that a lot of times in these type of games, people don't even get past the first single player level.
But there's also a lot of people that are not online
That's
at
true,
all,
and
that you
that's
can't
true.
track as much.
That's true, but I
It's
doubt how many
one
people
of
are buying
those.
Call of Duty or Battlefield and not getting online. I think it's a relatively small number. I think those are the people that are renting the game, right? Those are the guys that are going to go to Redbox, rent Call of Duty for the weekend, and you beat the Michael Bay-esque ridiculous action movie, which is how I've played it for the past couple years. I don't really play multiplayer.
The potential is there to really do something great
Yep.
in this regard. And I think the team at Respawn, those men and women are some of the best in the business, in my opinion. And they really have the potential to do something incredible.